Okay, if you could back up a little bit. Hello, everybody. Brian Keeler here. I'm at the French Azilum at the Susquehanna Summer Solstice Fest, and it's my great honor to be doing a portrait for the group here today. And I have a wonderful model, Mike Hudyncia. He lives nearby, retired science teacher from Towanda, and he's a great model. He's a great subject, and one of the things that's different here today is there's generally no light direction. It's just sort of a general wash of light, and it's an overcast day, so there's this cool light that's been coming in, and it's kind of not exactly the opposite, but if you look down here, this is the portrait I did yesterday, and there was a distinctive light direction, although it wasn't a spotlight, but we have a light direction. Where here, there's virtually no light direction. If you want to come into the portrait, I'll explain about some of the things that I was talking about. The first thing I decided was the pose. I chose a kind of a three-quarter pose, and the first thing I established was this longitudinal line down through the center, and then started working on the portrait. And since there was no light direction, it was a little bit of a challenge, but he has a wonderful face, these wonderful lines and dimples, and these and he also had a wonderful expression, a great demeanor through the whole portrait painting. He's smiling here now, and I was wondering about doing a smiling portrait, but it's very challenging, and teeth are very hard to do, but the master of those type of portraits, of smiling portraits, of course, is Franz Hals, but I still have a nice expression captured. But some of the things that I was talking about were edges and warm and cool lights. So we have it's cool light, and I have cool highlights right here on the bridge of his nose and in other areas. And I could soften the edges more, but that's okay. I'm seeing one thing here now. I'll just adjust. Since he has the side of his head shaved here, it's a little challenging, but as to determine what the value is, it's kind of indeterminate there, but a slightly lighter value from the grayness of his hair. So, and then here's a secret technique of finger painting to soften the edges. And we talked about that a lot. So if you back up a little bit now, please. And then turn to the audience. We're going to ask some people of their impressions. Tina, maybe if you want to share something.
My impressions
of the process, or what you learned, or what your single takeaway was.
How you put those lights in, and mostly you don't see those blues until you put those blues in. Then I see them in the skin. So that's kind of cool just to look at that, and now I'll know to look for those blues. Because that's confusing to me when I see blues and greens in the skin tone, but now I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you, Tina. Anybody else? How about Alyssa? You?
I was stunned by how quickly Brian can whip out a credible likeness, and with character and charm.
Okay.
I find it very interesting the way you handled the sunburn.
The what?
The sunburn.
The sunburn. Okay.
Handling the sunburn, that's a huge challenge. Yeah, so that was very interesting.
Thank you. Here's one.
What really started to bring it together for me is when he added the blues, that type of blue there that she was speaking, but into the chin, and then that's when it really pulled the chin outward and made it almost photographic, and he nailed it, and I was just popped once he added those blues in there. Now I'm looking at him, and I see blue in his tone.
I can see it under your
I can see it over
chin as I
here,
look into
yeah.
your face, but that's the blue of the sky.
Yeah, it
too.
is.
How about you, John? You got
No, I enjoy the way you are able, Brian, to talk about what you're doing while you're doing it, and because of the level of concentration that's required. You have many balls in the air at the same time, but you never get overwhelmed by it. You just, because you know the way to build it from the bones up. And
Right.
It's nice to see your explanation. Really appreciate it.
Very good explanation. Anybody else? How about Maggie? Maggie in the back there?
Yeah, the likeness was there right from the very beginning,
Yes.
but I really admire the skin tones, the colors you've got.
Thanks.
Is Joan here? Okay, go ahead.
I like the playfulness of the chosen subject and the chosen style of rendering, because to me this reads as like a, you know, it's got that Rockwell era feel to the color, right? It's got that very illustrative, kind of contemporary, mid-century, mid-20th century, and at the same time you have a guy with a mohawk. And like, so it's that it's that playful juxtaposition of your subject with a certain style, you know, and your style is a little bit flexible, I see, but you've gone more towards that American illustrative style, and you have.
Well, thank you. It's always an honor to be mentioned in the same sentence with Rockwell. How about Susan? Yeah.
I liked when you were comparing the light source and the difference in light between the two portraits that you have there. I thought that was a really
absolutely.
interesting, you know, the lack of light or the source of the light. The two are
Okay.
quite different.
Well, thank you. Did Joan leave? She was here a while ago. Okay. All right. Well, I'll conclude here. So, thank you so much for your attention. And this, once again, this is at the Susquehanna Summer Solstice Fest. And these are the people that have been speaking have all been artists that have been participating in this week-long event. They've been painting their brains out all week and done an incredible job. You can sort of look in the gallery. I mean, their paintings are here. We've had a great week. It's been very rewarding and a wonderful group of camaraderie here. So it's very rewarding, and look for it on the festival website, and also you can see more of my work on my site, briankeeler.com or northstarartgallery.com. Okay, thank you so much for your attention.
Thanks, Brian.